Welcome to Keeping Faith. This is one of ACS's podcasts, Associated Christian Schools. Across our 37 schools, 26,000 students, we love to connect together as a fellowship and to be able to learn from each other and to grow together as one educational body that's seeking Christ-centered education for the common good. My name is Dave Benson. I'm privileged to be the Executive Director of ACS, and I'm here with Brendan Hosking at Bundaberg Christian College. So welcome, Brendan.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. And all this way to Bundaberg means a lot to us.
Yeah, thank you. I was just saying to some of the staff here that I've got family in this region. So for me, it's actually particularly a delight to come and see a region that I've got to know a little bit through my wife's family. But could you tell us a little bit about both yourself and your context here in Bundaberg, a little bit about the school?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a Christian school that was founded 30 years ago this year, a little bit more than that. The families who came together here in town were looking to provide Christian education for Bundaberg. Mm-hmm. So we're made up of many different church families. So we're not connected to a church specifically. Yes. These families who came together spent years working really hard and fighting quite substantially to have a Christian school here in Bundaberg. Mm. Yeah, so 30 years old, we're a school of 950 and we're growing as many of our Christian schools are, which is exciting. Transitioning to around 1,200 is what the goal is.
Yeah, that's pretty natural growth, it sounds like, at the moment, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, so a school that really desires to have Christ at the center. That is really our heart, our mission. That's why we're here. That's why the board exists. That's why I'm here. But yeah, that's very much who we are. We're a school that, regional school, not fully regional, but regional, Bundaberg, and looking to support our families with helping their students to go on Christ through education. Education with wisdom is our motto. And yeah, that's who we are.
And we're talking about your, what would you call it, emblem?
Yeah.
Shield, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've got sugarcane and a butterfly and a Bible. Yeah. What's the heritage of this and what does that mean to you personally?
Yeah, very much the essence of who we are. So the sugarcane relates to the region, Bundaberg being known for sugar, and the butterfly being that new life, that birth. Our early learning center is called Chrysalis, so it kind of flows on from there, which is great. And the Bible is our education with wisdom. Yeah. We want to see Christ at the center of all that we do and be revealed through our curriculum. Yeah. So that's great.
And would you say there's anything particularly distinctive about Bundaberg Christian College? Not that it's got to be unique across the whole fellowship, but schools reflect their regions. What's some of the things that if people came here, they might go, oh, that's interesting? Or
yeah, we're not the only school that we have a hoof and hook program. So hoof and hook, it's an ag program. That's probably
it's not a Swedish word or hoof and hook.
That's right. So it's a distinctive part of our school. Yeah. We have music programs and those traditional things, but from a distinctiveness that the hoof and hook program. So our students, especially year 7 to 12, it's an extracurricular program. In the morning they come and they learn all things about cattle. I have had the chance to go on some of these shows and it's quite interesting. I've never in my life experienced watching a cow be blow dried, prepared for showing. It's quite amazing.
My father-in-law's cows are definitely not blow dried from this show.
And some of our students who don't necessarily love the classroom, but they love the farm. And on these shows, they're up at 4 a.m. in the morning. And they do not complain about it because they just love being a part of it.
Yeah, they're learning responsibility and contributing, connecting to creation. And that's awesome. Yeah, sorry, no, please, you were about to...
I was going to say that we often have families come to us with no farming background. I could think of a girl at the moment in year 12 who has come to us and the family's not necessarily from a farming background. And she is primed for a career in the ag industry. So they just love the program.
And so this is not a point, as is usually the case, it's what we prepare and then what we talk about. But in a regional centre, there's always tensions within Christian schools as to how we do or don't speak about ATARs and that plan, all that kind of stuff, because we want to be educationally excellent, but at the same time, we want to make sure it's Christ-centered. Sometimes it can be felt to be a tension, but you guys are punching really above your weight in terms of ATARs. Like you had a 95.35 or something last year, or some ridiculous number, or
absolutely. really
9, yeah, sorry.
the team works really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to be a school that provides lots of opportunities. If you're university bound, that's what we want for you. If your goal is to become a builder, great. But yeah, the team definitely works very hard on the academic side of our school and produce some really fantastic results.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Well, I give credit to those who have gone before me who have really laid good foundations. So.
Yeah, well, this school has been a real hub for many people connected with the ACS, because we're just saying two of our current board members, Paul Sterling now at Genesis and Paul Thompson now up at Calvary, both came through here. You've been here for 14 years, I think you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to be able to work with two Pauls. Paul Sterling and Paul Thompson, so PT and PS.
Yes, no. I often confuse them too. Apologies. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm very blessed to be able to work with both of them, and I've learned much from both of them. So
yeah, very good. Well, one of the things we talk about here is that we are a fellowship of nearly 40 schools, lots of kids, and a bit like that 1 Corinthians 12 passage where Christ has a body and it has many parts, and we're kind of in one sense an educational body. So if we think of ACS as a fellowship, an educational body, which part of the body are you and why?
Yeah. When I first responded to this, I did say thyroid.
Good,
so I guess we can talk about the thyroid.
I think we should. Yeah. I know that may not be your final answer, but yeah, why thyroid?
I guess I've learned a little bit about the thyroid recently through just life circumstances. And it's amazing. It's such a small part of our body, probably not well known, but it has a significant impact on your body's function. I'm aware there are people out there that have thyroid issues, and oftentimes if they're not receiving treatment or medication for it, that doesn't go well in life. So as far as, that we want to be that small voice for our community, we want to be that impact of that small, but necessarily that impact on who they are as well.
So kind of if the thyroid's healthy, then a larger body can grow and move, which relates to the ACS, but also relates to Bundaberg, I guess, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So we want to make sure that we have a healthy thyroid.
Nice. But you didn't settle on thyroid though,
No. I went to feet.
Okay.
And that was really driven by, and I can't remember the scripture at the moment, sorry, but how beautiful are the feet?
It's Isaiah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to be a school that really shares the gospel at the center. We want Christ to be revealed through all that we do. So the beautiful feet is what we want to be.
Out of interest, what form does that take in terms of witness that God reigns? Is that particularly with the students here or the families that come along? Does that have a more corporate expression in terms of what it means to, we could talk about evangelism traditionally, which some love, some struggle with, but what does that mean to be a witness of God's reign in this place?
Yeah, well, we have families, and as many Christian schools do, we have families that come to us that are Christian, and so we want to come alongside them and serve them and share Christ with their students who are coming from a Christian home. But then, as I've heard recently from you being on that porch, we also have many families who would never dare step foot inside a church, but are happy to send their children to BCC, Bundaberg Christian College. So we love the ability to share Jesus, whether it's through our chapels, our staff, our curriculum, our pastoral care programs, all those spaces. We want Christ to be revealed, and through relationship. That's the key, I believe. That the small relationships that are built from our teachers, our admin staff towards our students, whether they're having a great day or having a not so great day, time spent is important. That moment of impact. That's probably hard to comprehend when maybe we're not having a great day, but every moment that we have to impact and share Christ with our students is critical, and that's done through relationship.
And is there much of a, obviously every school promotes, your website's fantastic. I really love looking through there. It's beautifully presented, but there's communication that goes to the wider region to see if they want to send their kids here.
Yeah.
What's your level of connection with the wider community? Obviously there's communications, but are there many interface points with Bundaberg in this region as a school?
Yeah, I guess from, like I mentioned before, we're not a school that has a church connected to it. And so we really love the relationship that we do our best to build with the local churches in town. So the local churches do have a group that they come together. And we do appreciate being able to serve them. So they actually have their combined church services on our campus.
Oh, that's a fantastic initiative.
Once every year. I can't remember how often it happens. But yeah, building that relationship with our community, even outside of the Christian world, building our relationship with our university, connecting with the other schools in town, all of that's important for us.
So let's talk about challenges and opportunities. So there's a lot of challenges to being a distinctively Christian school, a Christ-centered school today.
Yeah.
What do you feel is one of your major challenges that you're facing that tempts you towards mission drift?
Yeah, sure.
And what wisdom have you found to be able to resist that temptation so that you can keep faith?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, we are a growing school. So I think there's always that tension between needing to grow, wanting to grow, and ensuring that as that growth happens, we remain mission true. We're a school who just last year, and I'm sure they won't mind me mentioning this as a board, we no longer have a foundational member on the board. We have some board members who have been
30 years. It's fair time. So
yeah, and I remember I've done some reading and some study about schools, and we're still a very young school compared to some. You know, you could potentially say that we're like a teenager.
Yes.
We're making that transition from maybe teenagehood to young adult, something like that.
I think in Darren Island's works, it's kind of second generation.
Yeah, that's where I've read it. And so I guess ensuring that transition, and the board are doing a great job to ensure that handover from the previous board members, the founding board members, to where we are today, and just reaffirming who we are as a school, and that, you know, starting from the board, working all the way through me down to our parents and our community, through our staff. So that's definitely challenges, and growing to 1,200, ensuring that culture is where we want it to be. And that's ongoing work, intentional work there. But also ensuring that we remind ourselves that we're only here because God has allowed us to be here. And that's where we want to stay.
So speaking practically then, how do you help that transition board-wise to keep faith? Obviously, you mentioned prayerfully, so there's spiritual practices connected. You mentioned the culture. What's some of the levers that you found to be able to see that transition in a way that honours what you originally set up to be and do, but it's not beholden to the past, because you need to adjust to a new age as well?
Yeah, I think that's a good balance. So for our board at the moment, we have members who are actually alumni. So there's a couple of members on there who actually came to the school, so understand who we are. We do have a good few who have been on there for a good amount of time. Our board chair, Trixie James, who does a great job. She very much, her heart is for the school to remain mission true, while adapting for the future. So we are building at the moment, which also is another challenge.
Financially, I imagine you've got to watch where things are at, keep the numbers right.
Yeah, absolutely. So mapping out what the future holds, while we need to add classrooms, but also build for infrastructure that we need moving forward.
It's great.
So all of those are challenges that we're navigating, and ensuring that we do it prayerfully and with the intention of we want this to glorify God. And, you know, we know that before any of us arrived, the school's desire was to, their mission is to focus on Christ. And, you know, eventually when all of us leave, we want that to remain.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So opportunities then. So we've got challenges you're facing that tempt to mission drift, but there's also some incredible opportunities in this time. Opportunities for Christ-centered education, absolutely. We want to lean into that. Yeah. But our purpose is not simply Christ-centered education for Christians. It's Christ-centered education for the common good.
Yeah.
So what opportunities do you see where you can do Christ-centered education for the common good in kind of some fresh ways? What opportunities are emerging, and how might you lean into them?
Yeah, I think the question is really good, because we recognize we work with families who are Christian and families who are non-Christian. So how do you, in year 11, year 12 at the moment, I have a year 12 Christian living class that I work with, which is great. I'm aware that room is filled with Christian kids, and then some who are not. And so how are we working towards ensuring our Christian children can go deeper in their faith, while also often just reminding our non-Christian kids about how much God loves them.
And not excluding them in the way you talk about things.
That's probably the biggest challenge that we find within, say, our Christian living program. But also outside of that, we really working hard to provide our students with a little bit more freedom, not as rigid, structured chapel. So we call our chapel Full Stop, our chapel program, trying to provide them with a little bit more freedom to enjoy that time, really intentional in, they're not sitting in their classes, alphabetical order. We don't do that. Assembly is for that. But during our chapel times, which are led by our students, we want to give them that freedom with a bit of structure, of course, to make sure that they're safe.
It doesn't become a Christian rave session with everyone at the front
That's right.
jumping around and the others wondering what on earth is going on.
To be able to allow them to relax, enjoy the time, but also share Christ. And really been blessed this year with our group of Year 12s who have really led the way. And our Full Stop, our chapel, is really led by our students. So they've been sharing their testimonies and, they're doing an amazing job.
Why is it called Full Stop?
So it's based off of there's nothing more that you can do to make God love you. Full stop. So it's like end of, and then everyone at the end of full stop, when that's said, they all bang their foot on the ground.
Oh, that's really cool. That's a great way of building a connection. A little practice. Yeah. What do you think has changed? I know that's a big cultural question, but why now? Why does there seem to be this new openness? And do you have a sense of what percentage of the kids would be committed Christian? I would say the biggest change is that we have students who have just decided that they want to share. As staff, we always want to share, but having students actually say, we want to share, we want to be a part of this. We have built a relationship with, they're not an ACS school, but with Mueller College in Brisbane. There's another Paul Valisi. Really appreciated some time with them. And their Mueller worship program. That really has had a significant impact on who we are as a school. Our Full Stop team has built relationship with them, and we've seen a change in our team, a desire to really impact our community. So they are running some worship sessions outside of that chapel time. So that's probably... That's great. And that's one of the hopes with ACS, again, is that we're strengthening each of our members, but for the common good, which includes being giving and receiving with other Christian schools and just helping live our faith publicly in a way that points to Jesus. So, I mean, that's wonderful to hear. I did a talk for Mueller long time back and I'd never been there before and suddenly realized this is a massive school and they had like this whole AV department that by the time I finished my talk, I think like within an hour, they gave me a CD at that time and they're like, oh yeah, here's your talk. I'm like, what is this? I've never seen this degree of AV professionalism. So they're a good bunch. And there's a lot that's changing so fast in society and in schooling as well. Which means even to stay where we are, you've got to adapt. So what's an area that you're experimenting in to be even more faithful and fruitful? And what have you found? It could even be from things that haven't worked, because often in times of rapid change, if we're not failing at something or something's not quite working, then we're probably not experimenting hard enough. So what things have you been experimenting with and what are you learning? What are you seeing in those experiments?
Yeah, I think specifically curriculum related.
Oh, it can be anything, but I'd love to hear curriculum,
Yeah, so I guess core, ensuring that we are doing justice by our core subjects. So all subjects are important, but maths, English in our junior, so really had a strong focus on ensuring that time is given within those subjects, wanting to see improvement from our students. We recognise that we're serving families that we're a low fee paying school. That's our heart to be that, to be an opportunity for anyone to come to BCC. And so providing that opportunity, ensuring we provide that support within that curriculum development from junior all the way to our Year 12 program. We have recently developed what we call a graduate profile.
I looked at that. That looks excellent with the ease, the kind of, engaged and but it's working well.
So that's something that Paul Thompson and I had worked on, and something that we want to continue to develop, because I want it to be more than just a pretty piece of artwork. Want it to be something that is embedded throughout the whole school. we did include staff in our community in developing that, looking at what we're doing now. But the goal is moving forward is to have that embedded through our whole school, to where at the end, when our students walk across the stage, we have given them every opportunity to achieve that profile.
Yeah, no, obviously, this is the point where you probably get nervous where I say, can you tell me a bit more detail about that graduate profile? Because then I came up with the framework, but could you give us a flavor of what do you, by God's grace, hope to see in a graduate, and how does that emerge from or connect with your faith? Because many schools would have graduate attributes or graduate outcomes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess the 4 areas, which I do remember: educated, equipped, empowered, and engaged.
Yes.
That was very much built from also our RISE values, which is respect, integrity, servanthood, and excellence. Each of those areas, I guess, are areas where we want to see our students grow in depth and understanding. So which
relates to wisdom in your kind of education with wisdom.
Yeah. So we're a school, as many Christian schools are. We are all about academics, but we're also about character development. And so providing opportunities for our students to grow in their character is really where the graduate profile sits. Yes, it is academic as well. But we have our academic reports. We have that. It's already a function to do that. And it's that requirement. But that character development is something that we're probably challenged by. How do you measure that? The question that I've heard quite a bit. People don't always have an answer. I don't have an answer.
Okay.
But that graduate profile, I guess, is moving towards being something where our students can actually demonstrate how they're built in their character, their social and emotional, their it's connected to academics, but more that character development, the personal development of our students.
So how are you going about forming character, whether you're measuring it or not? Secondary question.
Yeah.
How are you intentionally forming the character? Is that throughout the school experience, or and how do you bring that intentionality? So I guess what I'm broadly asking is, at its best, how do you embed those graduate outcomes and attributes through the everyday activities of the school?
Yeah, good question. And that's probably the area where we're still developing and still learning. We have leadership, which we see as building that character. So all of our year 6s are considered leaders. I'm a big fan of leadership being an opportunity, not a competition. We certainly do ask students to step forward and take on higher levels of leadership. But when it comes to, especially in our junior school, primary school, leadership is an opportunity, not a competition. And so that's one area. Definitely we are interwoven throughout our curriculum development. But as far as our profile goes, the future goal is to ensure that we are embedding and tracking. So at the moment, we do character development well, but that's because we've got staff who are working in our rooms and they're doing things. We're not necessarily aware of everything that they're doing. We want to ensure in 10 years' time, like I said before, when maybe some of us aren't here anymore, that is tracked and really embedded into everything we're doing.
Yeah, which is even just for the classroom teacher thinking, what's our overall aim at the end of this unit? How does that contribute towards these outcomes, and what kind of activities will give opportunities for that character formation?
Yeah, we've used different resources like Transformation by Design in our junior school in the past, and that definitely still has some momentum there. But yeah, still, I guess it's to be confirmed. We're still working on it, looking to embed and build that graduate profile.
It's great. It's great. We're looking in the coming year at partnering with Pacific Hills College. So it's got an excellent kind of formation program that's similar to Transformation by Design, kind of embeds some of the narrative theology of how do we seek shalom in the different areas of education. But I think it's something that we're hoping that we might be able to not have a coordinated approach of everyone does the same, but here's some good formation to help our teachers towards that, which I think CEN Network has done particularly well with Transformation by Design.
Yeah.
They're a good bunch. So last major question before we pray together. Again, in genuine relationship, there's a reciprocity, there's a giving, there's a receiving, there's gifts that you have that can bless others in the fellowship. There's needs that you'll have where it would be wonderful if others' gifts were returned. A bit like Paul said, you guys have got some financial, you guys have got some spiritual, let's get together and see everyone be healthy. So thinking of gifts that you bring, again, by God's grace, nothing's perfect, but what's some areas that you feel like, okay, God has blessed us in this and there's some wisdom there. This is something that if a school is looking to grow in this area, here's maybe a good conversation we could have. What's a particular gift that you feel you might be able to share with others in the fellowship?
Yeah, I would definitely say that our chapel full stop program would be a program that would be happy to and talk to anyone about or share how that works, being student led, very much student led. The whole program student led, and that filters down into a junior school where have a little bit more help from staff, but also student led chapel program. Our Hop and Hook program, like I mentioned before, that's unique. I know there are some other schools out there that are doing it maybe a little bit differently. But yeah, that would be another program that I consider. We do win, not that I need to throw this out there, but we do win a good number of awards through that. Got some amazing staff who work in that space, and it would be great to chat with. We have some great directors, so within our middle and senior, and as you're speaking with Stacey Box later today, they do a fantastic job for curriculum and just development of our team. So yeah, that would be areas. And then as far as us seeking help from others, always love to talk to people. We're a growing school. I do not pretend in any way to know how best to do that. So connecting with others, especially with structure and systems as we go from that. Well, we were 800 last year to 1,200 in the next year.
That seems like a pretty pivotal, like in church growth, I'll often speak, getting beyond the 200, 250 is quite a milestone. It sounds like the 1,000 is quite a big step up in terms of the level of systems that are needed to make that work.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, but I don't know.
Yeah. So there, love to chat with people, some principals, staff out there who have experienced that, and to see what structures they put in place, just to ensure, when we talked about culture, make sure that we stay mission true, make sure that we continue to have Christ in the center, all that we do as we grow.
And I did notice when I came in here that there was a number of Bluey books that looked Japanese to me. What's going on here?
So we currently have the school. We have a relationship with some sister schools in Japan. They're in the Jinseki Kogen region. Every year they bring around 8 to 10 students out. They're here at the moment. And I really appreciate just that time. We actually have 2 girls staying with us, so we built them out. Later this year, we'll send 16 of our students over to visit. But the books were a gift from our Japanese visitors.
Oh, sorry, they were from the Japanese visitors to here.
Yeah, yes, for sure. So I thought that was quite clever.
Reverse colonialism with Bluey.
I thought it was quite clever. The Bluey books are homegrown Bluey, but they're in Japanese.
That's beautiful. How did this connection come about?
That's a great question, actually. I actually don't know how it started. I would imagine that schools reached out to each other. It's been in place for since Paul Sterling's been here.
It's amazing.
Possibly before that, I can't remember.
And they're in Christian schools in Japan,
or not necessarily.
So, but it's just an amazing connection to be able to learn from and to share.
Yeah, definitely.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
No, it's a great connection. And like I said, we built the Japanese students out, which is just amazing to think about that. So one of the girls that we have is 14. First time out of, it's a small region, Jinseki Kogen. So they're
where is that? Like relative to say Tokyo? Is it north or southwest?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We're from Tokyo.
Okay.
I know it is north. In the mountains.
Oh, if it's in the snowboarding region, there's definitely a friendship you want to cultivate.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, they're very small. From what I've learned, it's a small area. They don't have a lot of things. So this is a significant experience. Really appreciate their commitment to learning English, and that's really what they're about coming here.
Do you guys teach Japanese here?
We do teach Japanese.
That's a tough language. That's the only exam I've ever failed in my whole life was Year 8 Japanese in the first one. I don't know what this is.
One of our girls has said that she finds learning English easier than learning Japanese.
I'm not surprised. They would always get us to draw these, what was it, kanji or something. They get us to draw the figures and they're like, just imagine this is an antenna on it. And I'm like, doesn't look at all like an antenna.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, each to their own. So in terms of, I was just sharing, this is for everyone here. Again, the ACS Together app is intended that we can connect with each other really well through that. So please do look up Brendan, look up the school here. Hopefully over time, we'll see in each of our schools, all of the staff across each school on the app, which means you can connect real time with someone who's teaching like Year 4 or is involved in chapel and seeking wisdom there. But certainly if there's gifts that you have that might support BCC at this time, or areas that BCC's mentioned, particularly thinking of Chapel, Hoof and Hook, some really great things there with the middle leaders and the strength of the school. Please do connect. That's the whole point of being a fellowship, is not just your membership individually, but how we connect to the others. So as we wrap up, what's 1, 2, 3 things I can be praying for you guys about? I'd love to pray for you.
Yeah, I mentioned we are growing and building, so we want just wisdom to make sure that we are being wise with our spending while we build our new buildings. So I really appreciated connecting with Samuel at the conference. It was great.
He's very excited, by the way. He's just like, I haven't thought much about the school stuff, and I feel like there's a massive opportunity here to do some impact investment. So we're hoping to do a case study with him at some stage and see what emerges as to what could be done here. Yeah,
fantastic. So definitely just being wise with building, need to grow, need to bring in some new buildings. But definitely at the essence, staying mission true, staying Christ-centered. Always appreciate prayer for our families as they choose to send their children here. We want to bless them. We want to love them. We want them to see Jesus. Those 2 things, and the staff, of course, as well, and our board. Keep them in prayer.
Pretty much everything.
Just everything would be prayer.
Just a spontaneous prayer for everything.
Absolutely.
Well, I'd love to pray for you. And whenever you're watching this, whether it's in the next couple of weeks or a year down the track, would you just join me as we pray for Brendan and the team here at Bundaberg Christian College, that they would flourish. And in so doing, everyone else would flourish. I'll pray for you now, if that's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lord, I thank you for Brendan. I thank you for someone who has humility and integrity and wisdom and a servant heart. And I thank you for his 14 years of service here at BCC. I thank you for the way that you have guided and blessed this school across its 30 plus years now, and the way that it continues to be true to this region, that it has its roots deep here, that it has programs that reflect the kind of regional community in terms of Hoof and Hook, and that sows into kids in ways that are what they need to grow and to be these wise young people who have character, who have skill to serve well. So I thank you for this vision of education with wisdom. And I pray that there would be that chrysalis to butterfly growth, that it would be grounded on your word, and that it would ripen like sugarcane and be sweet to this land and to this place where there are many struggles, as with many of the larger regional towns. I pray that Bundaberg would flourish, that as BCC flourishes, that this region would flourish. So Lord, I pray that you would be with them in this season of growth. I thank you for the growth. I thank you that you are bringing literally the nations, Japan, you're bringing the nations to this place. I pray that as they come